everybody, and welcome to SPAA's Authors Podcast. Today we have a wonderful guest, and we're going to be speaking with Miss Commernitta Bradby. She goes by the name Anita. So, Miss Bradby, can you introduce yourself to us?
Yes. Well, you've given my name, and just to give you a little bit about myself, I'm just going to give you some of my titles. So, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, and I'm also an author, as we've already discussed. I'm a business owner, which is a real estate broker of First Success Realty in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm also a pastor at Living Witness Church of Praise in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I also work a full-time job, not to mention that I have 9 grandchildren right now, and 5 kids, adults. All my children are adults.
You a busy lady.
Yeah.
You got a lot going on.
I do, right? Yeah.
Yes.
I've learned to embrace that.
Yeah. So with all of that stuff going on, all these different jobs and the grandchildren, where did you find time to write books?
I know. Well, I find for me, when you're passionate about something, you're going to find time to do it. If you enjoy it, you're going to find some time. There's always downtime somewhere. So my downtime, because I'm a night owl, I'm one of them people that I'm up late when everyone else is asleep. 1 o'clock in the morning, that's me. I'm bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. 2 o'clock in the morning, I may just be up writing or I may be reading. Those are the times when I find times when I can just sit down and have my me time. Sometime on lunch breaks, I don't like to be idle. That's when I find my time to write. I enjoy it and I like reading.
Okay. So I know that you're an author of 2 books. Tell us a little bit about each of those books.
All right. Yes, I'm an author of 2 single books. And the first one I would like to show you first is called Meek, Not Weak. This book is, I feel, is a part of my personality because I've learned to embrace who I am as a person. Growing up, I wasn't always as confident. And because I thought I had to be like everyone else, I was what they considered the quiet one in the group. But I didn't understand what meekness, I know, right? I didn't understand what meekness was. I just thought, they said, oh, she's quiet. Like I couldn't comprehend, like I didn't know how to talk. I just would sit back and just observe people. I just looking at them like, that's dumb, So this book here is for those type of people who you may be an observer, you may be a little quiet or reserved, but that don't mean you're weak. You have a lot of personality. Actually, meek people have a lot of personality, but people don't take the time to get to know them. So I wrote this book to let the people know that just because a person is laid back or relaxed and have a meek countenance, that don't mean they're weak. Usually those people have so much inside of them, they just don't share it with everybody. So I put a little bit in the book to say, it's okay to be meek. That don't mean you're weak. So it's an encouragement for me and also to others.
So like after writing that book, that it's made you even more confident about the fact that you're meek, not weak?
Yes. Yep. Because meekness is not a weakness. I think there's a misconception. I mentioned in the book also that, how sometimes with children, you have these little boys, they just may be nice, good little boys, and then you find people who tell them, they're acting like a wuss and, you're supposed to be a man and then you got to be tough. I'm not saying, but they still going to be boys. And sometimes you don't know who you are yet. So you got to know who you are and you don't want to try to be somebody else. So this book really helped me step out to say, it's okay. I am who I am and I'm proud of who I am, but I'm not weak by no means. All right. So that's like the fire, the fire coming up.
That's a great concept.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great concept because a lot of times people don't think about that. And the fact that you've written about that will help somebody, as they journey around and somebody may be thinking that same thing. So that is awesome, that you put that out there and was able to share that with people. So tell us about Raised by a Child. What inspired you? to write that book?
Raised by a Child, I was inspired to write that book because I'm, I was going to count down what child I am, but there was 8 children that was born to my mom and my dad. And my mother passed away when I was 5 years old. So the oldest sibling was 18 and the youngest was 2. I was the next from the youngest. So my brother was 2 and I was 5. And then they went on up to age 18. And my sister, when she was 18 years old, she decided to keep us together as a family and did not want us to be separated. She said Mama wouldn't want us to be separated. And she told her that she wasn't going to have us separated. So my mom died in a car accident. And so when she passed away, we stuck together. My sister was 18. So when I thought about, as I got older, I thought about what it must have taken to make that decision at 18 years old, considering the fact that she had a 2-year-old herself at that time, and to have 8 children. And I said to myself, she was just a child herself. So that's how Raised by a Child came about. And on the cover, it says, a story of loss and love. That's because we did lose someone that was very dear to all of us, but we learned how to embrace the love that we had, because there was a lot of trying times. I know there was some times where I questioned, even my very faith, even as a child. I didn't understand, why this had to happen to me, all these things, and I wrote it from a perspective of a 5 and a 6-year-old during my very young age. That's the part of my life that's in that book, because that's the time that was really affected. But it was so much love that we embraced, the funny times, the tears. So I'm thankful. It made me who I am today. And now I can say I was raised by a child. I came out okay. I didn't lose it. I'm still in one piece. But that's how it's where Raised by a Child.
Yes.
My sister kept us together at 18.
That's awesome. That is so awesome and so powerful to be able to share that story, with people, looking at it from when you were a child and then coming of age and then being able to share that story. So how does your sister feel about seeing that in print?
I think she's still kind of in awe. She's really speechless about it. She doesn't really boast about it or anything. She just feel like I did what I just had to do. She just feel like that's what she had to do and that's what she did it. To her, it's not like she don't boast about it. She just be like, oh, okay. She's very humble about it, I should say. But I'm sure she feels
she a shero.
Right.
She's a shero.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
mean, that's just wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
to see that and to know that there's so many families that get broken up, by that, and with someone else coming along who might read that, who may have that similar situation going on, that may encourage them to be able to, okay, yeah, I was about to give up, but they did it. We could do this too,
Exactly.
So it's an encouragement.
Yeah, and what you're saying, that I'm sure that there were times, where we did have other family members that was like, I'll take this one, I'll take that one, I'll take this one, but she was determined that we was going to grow up as a family. And I was going to know who my sisters and my brothers was, and all of us, we know all our siblings. So I'm thankful, because it could have been the other way around.
So easily. So how long have you been a member of SPAA?
4 years. It's been 4 years.
Okay. So when you came to SPAA, did you have a thought in your mind that you would actually write a book?
I've always talked about I wanted to write a book. Well, I'm just going to say, I hear that a lot. I want to write a book. And so I think I was saying what everybody else said, but I never knew the resources. I thought it was something that was just, I never thought that dream can come true. Honestly, I just didn't believe it, because I didn't think it was possible for an everyday person like me. Isn't that something?
Wow. Yeah, and here you are, what, 3 collaborations later, 2 books later?
Yes, and some more projects in the works.
That's that's what's up. That's great. So, how was it being part of the collaborations?
They were fun. They were very interesting. When the collaborations, I did incorporate one of my books, actually, Raised by a Child, that inspired me to finish the book because I just wrote a portion of it, and it made me want to finish the book. And the same with Meek, it was like the commitment of working with other authors and reading their stories and just being encouraged, by what others had to say about their life and their experiences, and just the gifts, just seeing people just support. I really enjoyed it. I love it. I really love it.
So, did you do the collaboration and then your book, complete your book?
Yes, the first one I did, I was working on my book, and then Dr. Wilkins said, because honestly, I didn't even know what I didn't even know what a collaboration was, because,
Okay.
this stuff was new to me. I was just excited just to be a part of something that really encouraged me to say, you can do this. So that was the main thing. I was like, oh, okay. You say I can do it, I can do it, just the faith that I can do it. So I was like, okay, a collaboration, all right. And I found out what a collaboration was. And so I was working on my book, and Dr. Wilkins said, why don't you submit a portion of your book with the collaboration? I'm like, and so I had to ask him. And I said, but I'm not finished with the book. He was like, right. He said, yep. Because he said, it's a part, it's a part of your book. It introduces your book. I said, oh, okay. So that motivated me even more, because then that means that I had to finish the book. It was really good. So I really enjoyed being a part of that.
You had to finish the book because once you put that date out there, you had to get it done, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It holds you accountable.
Once you put that commitment out there.
Oh yeah. Once you say the
being
word,
held accountable.
Once you say the word, that's it. It's got to happen.
And I know you finished both of your books pretty close together.
I did.
They came out pretty close together, didn't they?
I did. I was working on Raised by a Child. I mentioned that I was Meek Not Weak, as if it was going to be like I don't even know how I mentioned it. And then it came out of my mouth and doing a training session. And I had until before Christmas to have it done. So I had both of those came out together, which was good for me because I love being busy. And I like the challenge, and accountability, I think, is really important. It keeps me who I am, and I enjoy it. I mean, I'm the fish, put me in the pan and just fry me,
That's a good analogy. Put you in a pan and fry.
I better watch what I say.
And we know we like fried food. So that's a great analogy. So what would you say to like somebody who's aspiring to be a writer? What encouragement could you give them?
My encouragement is don't just talk about it, be about it, because sometimes it's so easy to get on a bandwagon of saying, I want to write a book. I want to write a book. But everyday people are writing books. The people that I'm just thankful to be around people who like-minded people. I would say get around like-minded people that's doing things, people that have goals and have visions and inspirations and things like that. And stay away from negative people. If you want to write a book, then of course we know that there's a organization out here that will help you get it done. But you got to believe in yourself. You got to take all of that imagination and all them thoughts, and you got to put it on paper. After you're gone, this will live on.
It's a legacy.
It is a legacy. And that's what we want to do.
Yeah, so something for your grandchildren to pick up and read and say, yeah, my grandma wrote this. Or exactly. Your husband to say, my wife wrote this. I know sometimes that the people around you, and that's why it's important when you said be around like-minded people, sometimes the people around you don't understand, what your passion is, but it's your passion. So how do you deal with that when people really don't understand your passion or your motivation?
Well, the person that I am now, honestly, it doesn't even faze me. Uh, because, I've learned, I have grown to be that person that I have to live out my dreams. I would say you have to do what it is to make you happy. You have to make these dreams and the things you want to do come true. And you have to let people see you doing things. Let them see that you're serious, put things into action and don't worry about the naysayers or Debbie Downers. You gotta just,
I know
you
some of
have to just
those.
let it go. You gotta let it go. You gotta let it go.
I know some of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's great. And that's great that you said the person that I am now, indicating that at one point, maybe you weren't that person who was able to just say, I don't really care what you guys think, I'm doing me.
Right,
you know.
exactly. And I think that's part of me when I didn't embrace, once again, when I spoke about the book Meek Not Weak, I had to fight through some things, some self-esteem issues. Like I did mention some of that in the book. Sometimes we got to get to know us. We have to embrace who we are. And once you embrace who you are, then you can be real with yourself. When other people choose to be fake, you can be real to yourself. And that's what
Yeah.
your book is. When you write a book, that's you. That's a part of you.
That's your project.
That's it.
What upcoming things do you have in the hopper right now?
Oh my goodness. Now you're going to get me in trouble. One of the things I'm doing right now is I'm writing a book. It's called Family.
Okay.
And that was actually inspired. A lot of that came from the pandemic, because you really see how important family is, especially when you see things going on every day, when people are losing loved ones throughout this pandemic, and a lot of things were going on, and the love and the things that we need to embrace. Family is really important. So I'm working on it. I just got to wrap it up. So
Okay.
yeah, I just got to wrap it up. As you said, I said, I have to wrap it up. I just need to take me, some time and just sit down and just do it. And I can get that done. So I'll be done with that. I gave myself a deadline, and I'll be done with that shortly. Yeah, my other project that I'm working on, this one here, it's like let me see, I don't want to say it's like not an addition to Raised by a Child, but it's like a rollover, sort of like an attachment, but it's Raised by a Child Victory. So because Raised by a Child was written from a child's perspective, but in the book, a lot of the readers was asking me, so what happened? What happened? Because it was written from a child perspective. And they're like, well, what happened? We want to know what happened, what happened to the kids and how did everybody turn out? And I'm like, okay. So, but I didn't want to do Raised by a Child Part 2. It's going to be Raised by a Child, but it's going to be from a victory. So I'm going to tie that in once I put it together, but it's going to be a victory series of Raised by a Child.
Okay. That sounds really interesting. And I bet you'll get a lot out of that. And yet again, your sister can take some pride in that because, she helped kind of motivate you and move you guys in that direction, So, it seems like you really horned in on your writing skills, So what are some of the little tricks you use? I know you told us a few, but what are some of the things that you use just to make that you stay on top of that craft?
I think educating myself, doing some reading, learning, reading some of the other books that other authors have written, learning from people that have been writing for many years, training, SPAA office training for authors and workshops and different things like that. I think that anytime you're passionate about something, sometimes, all the time, we do have to be groomed. We have to make sure our craft is always being tweaked. So anything I can find to learn, I always want to learn. how to do things better, and so I'm just continuing to try to grow in what I'm doing, keep reading, keep writing, keep studying, and keep the wheels turning in my brain. Never a dull moment up in here, I tell you.
I know all them jobs and all these different projects. Yeah, you're busy. You're a busy lady. So recently we just had the Black Authors Matter. How was the experience being part of BAM, which was the Black Authors Matter? How was that experience for you?
It was really nice because just to once again be a part of just like-minded people that's being celebrated, that you can share your story. It was really great. It was a great opportunity. Honestly, since I've been a part of SPAA, it's like it has opened up so many different doors and so many different avenues, and it's like a family. So I think that it was like a family gathering, and we just had invitees. So it was a great opportunity to just share and listen to the other authors share their story.
Okay. So if someone's interested in purchasing any of your books or reaching out to you, what are some of the ways that they can reach out to you and, possibly tell us the price of your books and how they're able to get those?
My books right now, the best way is I do have a Facebook page, and it's Nita Bradby. So I am on social media. I do have a PayPal account as well. And I have an email, which is NITTA Bradby at gmail.com. So right now, those are the ways to purchase my books, to get in touch with me directly. Also, my books are $14 each for Raised by a Child, and also Meek, Not Weak.
Okay. And give them the spelling so they know how to look your items up on Facebook. Look your page up.
It's NITTA, and it's BRADBY.
Okay, and give us your email address again, because I want to make sure people have a way to contact you and get all of that great information.
Okay, NITTA BRADBY at gmail.com.
Okay, so I know soon we have those two books out there, and soon we're gonna be seeing some more books. SPAA has an upcoming collaboration, and I know you're gonna be part of that collaboration. Do you already have your idea what you're gonna write for that collaboration? You don't have to tell us, but what it is.
Yeah.
But
it's funny because I had started family already, and then one day about 3:00 in the morning, I have no idea what I was doing up writing. But anyway, I started writing Victory, Raised by a Child, Victory. I'm gonna put it together. I gotta figure out how I want to put the victory in there. But I was laying and I was just thinking about writing. I went from family to Raised by a Child. I know we have the writers contest coming up. And so I've already started a lot of that. So I may submit a part of that in the collaboration to give myself a jump start on that particular book.
okay, that's good. It sounds like you definitely have a plan in place, to be able to get all those things done with everything else that you have going on. So as we look at it, and I know that when I first met you, you were in the process of writing your books, and kind of getting involved, and just to look at you now and to see the confidence, and you definitely Meek, Not Weak. You got a personality. We've all seen it, just a fabulous person. And it's so nice to be around. I agree with you, with like-minded people, and be around people who are looking to be able to pull you up. And I hear you say a lot of positive things about not only the books that you have, but about the books of other people, about the organization, so you put a lot of that. And you're also the president of our Milwaukee chapter. Tell us a little bit about that.
The Milwaukee chapter?
Yes.
Okay. Well, the Milwaukee chapter, I have been the president, I believe, I think it's been a year now. And when I first became a part of SPAA, honestly, I didn't even, I had no idea, what I was doing. I didn't have no idea what I was doing. I just felt like I wanted to be a part of something great. And I figured that SPAA had that to offer. And once I really understood what SPAA had to offer, I got so excited because I didn't know at first. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna go to a meeting. I didn't understand. But once I understood, I was like, wow, this is real. They really can help me. And I got so excited. I was just one of those people was like, when is the next meeting? And I was in, but I wanted more, and SPAA had more. So once I understood everything that SPAA offered, and once I met Dr. Wilkins, and when he started laying it all out, it's like the light bulb came on. Light bulb came on, and I was that person like, okay, what can what can I do? I think he saw something in me that I didn't really see in myself. I just, I just wanted to write a book. I didn't realize that there was so much more that came with that. So as time went on, he saw leadership skills in me and leadership capabilities in me. And he said, well, I'm going to put you to work. And I'm like, okay. And I got to admit, I was nervous at first because I didn't know what to expect. But over the course of the year, I'm learning more. And I know that as I learn more, then I'll be able to be who I need to be so that I can properly do what I need to do to help grow the Milwaukee chapter, because that's what we're looking to do, is to expand and to grow and to teach other authors and other people that you too can be an author. You too can write a book. You too can tell your story. You too can step out and be a part of this great organization. It's not impossible, and just motivate people. And that's what I'm looking to do, is to help build others to do what we're doing every day.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Nita, for being a guest on the SPAA Authors Podcast. It has been such a pleasure speaking with you today. And viewers, please check out Miss Nita Bradby. Get a copy of her book. They're excellent reads. I believe that you will enjoy them. So until next time, we thank you for tuning in, and please join us for the next SPAA Authors Podcast. Thanks, Nita.
Thank you so much for having me.